Hi, welcome to my channel, Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie. Welcome if you're new here, and if you're one of my subscribers, you are literally the best. Let's get crafting.
This inspiration piece from Kirkland's is adorable. Now, it wasn't outrageously expensive at $16.99, but I thought I could do it for less. I'm going to use one of those little house pieces from Dollar Tree, some paint, some craft sticks, and some Jenga blocks. I'm going to start with 7 Jenga blocks, and I'm going to hot glue them together side to side to make the base. I'm going to paint this base black using the ink paint from Waverly in the chalk paint. Next, I'm going to remove those flowers and the pieces of felt from the top of this house. For some reason, I have the hardest time with this. I use heat, I used a utility knife, you name it. I finally got everything off and then I sanded it. That seems to be the go-to for me, is sanding those things off. And then I cleaned it up with my Ladybug vacuum, and I'll put that link in the description box for you. I am going to paint this with some white acrylic paint. It's from a sample I got at Lowe's for like $1, great deal. And I just love the way it looks when it goes on. I'm going to remove the stickers from the back, and I'm going to paint the entire house because I want the back to look nice too. The inspiration piece had some lines on it to kind of look like shiplap, so I'm using my square ruler to do that. I ended up going a little off on one of them, but it's okay. It still looks nice. I don't know what I did or why I did that, but there you go. Now I'm going to take my little sanding sponge from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to lightly sand down those lines to dull them a little so that they look a little bit more like just edges of wood. I had these little greenery rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree, and so I need to recreate that wreath that was on the top, and so I cut a bunch of little pieces and just kind of curve them around, and then all you have to do is remove the back and just kind of scrape over the top, and that releases from the plastic, and when you lift it up, it will now be attached to your wood. It's a very, very easy transfer. It looks really nice. I mean, it was $1, and I've used this for so many projects, and I still have a bunch left over. So if you ever see this at Dollar Tree, you should definitely grab it. I used some gingham or buffalo check ribbon, just like the inspiration piece had, although mine is just a little bit bigger squares. And I made a teeny little shoestring bow with it. I'm going to hot glue it right on top, just like theirs was. And then I'm going to trim the tails of the bow so that it looks like the one that I'm trying to recreate. Now, the roof was a challenging part for me. Never did well in geometry in school, and this kind of with a little bit of geometry. So I'm using these craft sticks, trying to figure out how long I need to make it, measuring it. I'm using my miter shears, which are awesome. Put the link for that in the description too if you're interested. And I'm going to sand them and try to create a roof line. Now, it occurred to me as I was messing with this that I needed to lift up a little higher. So after I figured out the top pieces and kind of the front pieces that would go next to them, I realized I needed to lift it up. So I put a couple of Jenga blocks, one on each side, hot glued it down, and then I'm going to paint it black and start assembling my roof. That solved my problem. Now, anywhere that I overpainted a little bit with the black onto the white, I did go back and I touched it up after everything was dry. So if it looks a little messy, it's all taken care of. I'm hot gluing those 2 front pieces directly onto the Jenga box, and then the other 2 larger craft stick pieces will go right across the top of the roof and meet at the point. Now, I did find there was a little gap. You can't see it in the picture here, but it's there. So I did end up putting in a little teeny piece of a craft stick that I cut and that fixed it. It raised up the point a little better, and so I just paint that black after I glue it in, and then I can put those pieces of the roof on, and it works perfectly. I really love how this one turned out. It's so cute. There's the original in the picture. Now, I did not film for some reason what I did on my Cricut, which was I looked up fonts to try to match the best I could. And so there are basically 4 different fonts here, and then I added a tail with a black marker to the word family. And I don't remember the name of the fonts. I'm so sorry. I really hope you guys like it. Let me know in the comments. Today's video is a collaboration with Nicole from the Week's Nest DIY. We decided that we would create inspired decor pieces from Kirkland's, and we would use mostly Dollar Tree items. Now, Nicole is a very experienced YouTuber. She's super talented. She does a lot of modern farmhouse. She has a beautiful decor style, and I love the way she presents her tutorials. I highly recommend you visit her channel. I'll have her video link for this collaboration down in the description box, along with her channel link. And definitely tell Nicole Lisa Marie said hi. She's amazing. I'd love for you to join me on my channel by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you'll always know when I have a new video. I do all kinds of DIYs, gardening in the summer. If you enjoy my video, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. That helps my channel so much, and I do appreciate it. This Kirkland Inspiration decor piece is a really cute buffalo check welcome mat, but for $25 I thought I could do it for less. So I found one of the doormats at Dollar Tree, and I'm not going to give you the full tutorial on how to do your own buffalo check because I have a video where I have a lot of details. I'm going to link that video above in the cards and down below in the description box. And please, after this video and after you watch Nicole's video, feel free to go check that out to get the very specific instructions. It just takes a long time to explain it, so I'm going to let you just watch. I tape it off. There's about 3 or 4 steps to it. Now right now I'm covering up the center because that's where the words welcome are going to be, so that will not be part of the buffalo check pattern, so I want to protect it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the tape, and you create spacers so that you leave that extra row in between. And I'm measuring, but I'm not measuring exactly because I'm looking at the picture and I'm kind of eyeballing it at the same time. So it's a combination of measurements and what looks right to me. And then I figure I can always touch up when I'm all done. Now I do label the tape top and bottom because those pieces go off at one point and then back on, so you want to remember which one was which. I'm using my Kiehl's primer white paint for this. It's just perfect for this project, and I'm doing several coats so I can get as much coverage as possible. So in a nutshell, you have, in this particular buffalo check pattern, we'll have like black, gray, white, and off-white. It's basically varying shades of a similar color, unless you're mixing 2 like red and black. But in this case, I'm mostly doing white, gray, and black. Now for the center of the sign, I didn't have the exact color, so I just kind of made this up as I went. So I used a little bit of a cream color, some of the pumpkin from Waverly, and then I added a little bit of burnt umber because it just needed to go a little darker. And I came up with this color, have no idea what to call it, but it's similar to what the picture had. And that's what I'm going to paint that inside rectangle. Now you might notice a couple areas where I'm going to need to do some touch-ups, and I go ahead and do that later, but for now I'm just going to try to get this center part done. I am going to use my Cricut to create a stencil for the word welcome. I tried to replicate the font that they had in the picture. Again, I'm not sure what the name was, and I'm using some masking tape as transfer tape. I'm going to go ahead and varnish the stencil to my transfer tape and then take that off. Then I'm going to lay it down on top of my mat, try to center it in that center area, and then with using my little weeding tool, I'm going to pull off the transfer tape and leave the stencil behind. Now, if you didn't have a cutting machine, you could certainly use a stencil with different letters, or if you could find one that says welcome, or you could freehand it if you knew how to do that. I'm going to use my ink chalk paint, which is basically black by Waverly, and I'm going to do several coats so that I can get the darkest lettering possible. Now for the super fun part, which is pulling off the stencil. I gotta tell you, I was so surprised how clean the letters were. I thought it was gonna bleed for sure, but it didn't, and it looks amazing. So there's the original up above. Tell me what you think. I feel like it came out pretty good. I'd love to know what you think. I just wanted to let everyone know that I am on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Same name, Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie, and I hope to see you over there. This Kirkland inspiration piece is so cute. Now, I didn't want to do the gold star on top because I didn't want to do a Christmas tree, but I did everything else. But it's $72.99, and I knew I could make it for a couple of dollars. So I've got a picture frame from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to be using some craft sticks and my white Arteza paint marker, along with 3 colors of paint. There's going to be steel from Waverly. I'm going to use the antique wax from Waverly and the white wax from Waverly. Now I'm going to make a much smaller version of this sign, but I'm still going to copy the basic sign itself. I'm going to be blending these colors until I think I achieve the color that theirs was. I didn't really have one paint that would fit that, so I did a bunch of layering so that I could come up with what I believe to be the right color. In order to create the same pattern that their little wood planks were, I cut a bunch of craft sticks to varying sizes and then kind of put them together like a puzzle. And once I had the right amount, I took them off of that piece of cardboard and I put some glue down, and I added a couple rows at a time so that I could keep everything intact and just recreate as best as I could the look that they did. I use those same 3 colors to layer onto this wood base that I made, and I am going to achieve as close as I can to the color that they use. Since I don't actually know what it is, it's kind of a guessing game just by looking at it. You have to tell me if you think I achieved it. Using my white Arteza paint marker, I am going ahead and drawing the tree now. It's just a stick tree. It doesn't require any special artist skills. It's just, steady hand and doing the best you can. It couldn't be simpler, to be honest with you, and I don't think if it was any more complicated, I could have done it. What do you think? Did I nail it or fail it? I am very happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys like it. Please let me know. My husband loved this one, so it was a win in our house. One funny thing is when I put it together, I realized I had drawn the tree on upside down, so I had to change the hanger around. Easy fix. And here's one last look at all of my Kirkland inspired DIYs. Don't forget to go visit Nicole at the Week's Nest DIY. Definitely send her some love, tell her Lisa Marie sent you, and consider subscribing to her channel. She is amazing. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and definitely give this video a like, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Until then, you are a blessing.